What's up, you guys? Welcome to day 3, Faith-Driven Leadership Live. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to have you back. I'm excited to have Zach here to share his expertise and his wisdom with you all. If you can hear me, say what's up. Change your chat to everyone if you haven't already. We'll give everybody time to trickle in here. Day 3, let's go. Treb, Wilfredo, good to see you. Hey, you guys chime in on the chat so we know that you can see me, so that you can hear us. And then we're going to dive in. Evelyn, good to see you. Graham, good to see you, man. Awesome. Albert, good to see you, man. Give us a shout. Let us know that you can hear us and that you're here and you're ready to go and you're ready to meet Zach. He's a good friend. Angie, good to see you. Ready to go. Love it. Day 3. Love the commitment. Okay, just a few more minutes here and we'll get rolling. I'm excited for you guys to meet Zach. He's going to share some of his top secrets to growth. How to inspire and motivate your team. Guy's an absolute legend. We'll open up in prayer in a minute here too. Zach, you want to hop on and say hello?
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Pleasure to be here, man.
Great to have you, dude. Great to have you. I'm excited for everyone to learn from you directly. Appreciate you taking the time.
Of course.
I think we're going to have fun, as we always do. All right. How was everybody's day 2? What are some ahas that you had? Some revelations you had from day 2? Marcus Howard, you want to change to everyone on chat. Are we going to be able to watch the recordings for all 3 days? Yeah, we'll be sending out a recording for day 3 as well. Again, like I said, in those last 2 days, it's for review. It's definitely not, it's a supplement to being here live. It's not a replacement for being here live. It's your time and attention that's going to allow you to have breakthrough. Evelyn missed day 1 and day 2. Yeah, definitely watch those recordings. We're going to be referring to things that we talked about in day 1 and day 2, Evelyn, so it'll be important to watch those. But we'll try to highlight some of the top takeaways. Okay, Zach, let's open up in prayer, man, and then we can jump in and get into the nitty-gritty. That sound good?
Cool. Absolutely. You want to pray us in or me?
Yeah, I can do it.
Cool.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time. Day 3 of enlightenment and wisdom and guidance, Lord. And I just pray, as I have the last 2 days, that you tell us what you want us to know and what you want us to do. Open up our minds and our hearts to what it is that we need to learn, what needs to be revealed to us so that we can have breakthrough as leaders, so that we can step into our purpose, that we can be that 5-talent servant. And as I said yesterday, so that we can bear fruit and our fruit can bear fruit. And that's true leadership. That's multiplication. That's a mindset of being exponential. So, Lord, I just pray that what you want to reveal to us today, that we can be open to that. Guide our conversations. I pray that we have a fun time today and that we learn from Zach and each other, and that we take action on the things that we need to take action on. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Peter, excited to be here with you, man.
So excited, dude. I always have fun chatting with you, bro. We always have a good time. I think. I have a good time.
Likewise. I've said it many times before, and I'll continue to say it. If you live local to me here in Nashville, I think we'd be great friends. Like I feel
so
like
too.
I'd just be. I was gonna say I feel like I'd be getting barbecue with you, but I feel like I'd be going over to your house for your barbecue because I've seen the briskets you smoke, bro. I would love to partake.
Anytime. You know me, I've always got a brisket on the smoker. Frequently have a brisket on the smoker. So absolutely, man. Cool. Absolutely. Well, dude, I think the crew here is excited to hear what you've got to say. I let them know that there's probably a surprise that's coming from you. And so maybe I didn't let the cat out of the bag too far, but they need to listen to what you have going on. And you've always got some sort of trick up your sleeve. So we'll see what you got. We'll see what you have to offer, man. But I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I can live up to the hype. So, all right, guys. First of all, pleasure to be here. So excited to have you all. I just want to actually first of all, congratulate you guys on being here and investing in yourselves. At the end of the day, to my knowledge, I think we're all business owners here. Maybe some of you guys are maybe some like middle level managers or upper level managers. That's totally fine as well. But at the end of the day, we all understand that God has given us a calling to multiply what He has given us, and He has called us to the marketplace. He's called us to lead others and lead them well. And you guys understand the importance in that. You've invested in yourselves. You've learned from literally one of the best that I personally know in the leadership space, and specifically faith as well. Because you can learn something about business, and if that's coming from someone that is of the world, they don't understand the kind of the biblical lens that a believer would. Sometimes it just doesn't always feel aligned. So anyway, I just want to congratulate you all on being here this week. To my knowledge, heard through the grapevine, Peter, you gave like some sort of an offer to work with you yesterday. Is that correct?
You got it, man. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We talked about that at the end of the call yesterday.
Cool. It's did they just book calls with you, or what was the official call to action?
Yeah. So I showed them like what it's going to look like and all the bonuses that we had and offered for clients. And in order to do that, they needed to book a call with us. And so we didn't take anybody's money necessarily or take any reservations for or any signups for the coaching yesterday. But they had to reserve a seat. So it was $97. They reserved a seat, and that was a call with me to make sure that they were the right fit for the program.
Awesome. It's kind of like a resi, right? Like
you got it.
Yeah. Right on. Awesome. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. For context, before I even mention the bonus, I think you guys need to understand. Like, you probably have no idea who I am. Many of you have probably never heard of me before. For all you know, Peter literally just DM'd me on Facebook yesterday and saw that I had coach in my bio, and maybe I'm here. That's not the case, guys.
I saw you walking on the street. You looked like you knew what you're talking about.
I appreciate that. Well, guys, look, Peter is the leadership expert. He knows way more about that than I do. So I would love to sit here and tell you guys more about leadership, but like, he's the guy that's going to be able to aid you in that. My zone of genius is finding ways to increase a bunch of profit and a bunch of revenue into people's businesses. Okay. This has been a gifting that like God has so very clearly put on my life over the last decade. And it's been fun to nurture that. Like, just for clarity, when I say increase revenue, I'm not talking about tens of thousands of dollars. I've literally helped multiple different clients in multiple different industries have 7-figure paydays. We're talking literally 7 figures or more. The highest I've ever seen was $2.6 million cash collected in a 24-hour period for one organization that I've helped. The organizations I work with are typically multi-6-figure organizations, somewhere maybe in the low end, $200,000, all the way up to, I think my highest client right now, they're doing probably $50 million. And they were not doing $50 million a year before we were working with each other. They've grown, I think, almost double in the last 9 months or so since we've been working with each other. So that's my expertise. I know how to just surge revenue into people's businesses. Now, I have to tell you guys that so you understand why I'm going to give the bonus I'm going to give. Okay. I can sit here and I would love to teach you guys all about how to go create a whole bunch of revenue in your businesses so that you can hire more people, so that you could lead people better, so that you could pay top level, A-level talent on your team. However, you all probably have different businesses. Some of you guys might have brick and mortar businesses. Some might be in e-com. Some might be coaching, consulting. And it would be literally malpractice for me to, go tell you guys all to do this one tactic when you guys are all in different stages of business and you all have different types of business. So today we're going to be talking about some, I would say, growth-oriented principles that I've just personally just found in the Bible, just biblically driven principles that will allow you to go grow your business. But to be more specific, I'd love to give you guys a bonus. And for anyone that took action on Peter's offer yesterday, and or anyone that takes action on it today, what is today? Wednesday. Anyone that books a call with him today, makes that resi essentially today, I would personally love to give each and every single one of you guys, no strings attached, no pitch on these at all, just a one-on-one hour consult. Literally just breaking down your marketing systems, your sales systems. I've built sales teams. I've literally managed sales teams, managed marketing teams. I've been a fractional CMO of 8-figure companies. Like, I can go find ways to increase your revenue like that. Not a shadow of a doubt in my mind. I don't care what business model you have, no matter what stage of revenue you're at. I promise you, I can go find a way to increase your revenue. And anyone that books a single call with him, okay, makes the resi. Like, whether you guys decide the leadership program is right or not, just simply get the call booked and conduct your call with Peter, and I will have him send me the list of anyone's names who books calls with him. I will happily just do a quick I shouldn't say quick, but a 1 hour marketing consult to help you guys find ideally 6, if not 7 figures on the table in your business each year that you could just go ahead and add real quick. A couple little levers that you could pull that would just increase your revenue and allow you to truly lead your team that much better and actually really exponentially grow your impact. So that's my offer to you all today. And I say that because I like to start off with a bonus. Success loves speed, and we'll talk about that later. But I love to start off by hey, let's reward action takers. So that's what I want to start
Zach,
off with today. If that's cool.
You're out of your mind.
I'm aware.
Well, you're out of your mind. Well, because first I'm now going to get spammed with a bunch of bookings, right? Which is great. It's awesome. But I think last time you had offered and we're like, you can't do that again. Like one-on-ones is absolutely insane. Like even you offering a group, and I'm not trying to like blow smoke, but you offering a group call for free without trying to upsell them on services and stuff is insane. One-on-ones with Zach are unheard of.
Yeah.
And so to be able to do that, just for booking a call with us to talk about the offer and whether they're a good fit is you're out of your mind. But I appreciate you. And
Yeah,
I think you really do want to eat the brisket at my house, and this is why you're doing this. But I think brisket would be a lot cheaper if you bought it. So I appreciate that. It means a lot, man.
Yeah, cool. And just for clarity, when I say 1 hour call, real quick, last time I sold this, I don't even sell these because the last time I sold it, I've realized I don't know how to price them anymore. The last time I sold it for a couple $1,000s for a 1 hour call, and about 3 months later, I had the client reach back out to me. They said, hey, don't ever sell that again for at least the price that you offered it, because you've directly attributed $250,000 in cash collected in the last 90 days since that call, just from the one action you told us to take action on. And before that, I was working with a very well-known golf brand that doubled their revenue, their monthly revenue, from a 30-day period. We had a call at the end of a calendar month. They had just done $500,000 in sales. The very next month, they did $1 million in cash collected sales from that one call. So that's why I don't sell those anymore. It's like, what am I going to do? Charge like $100,000 like that? So anyway, apparently now they're just free for Peter's audience. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, once again, we're going to cover the 5. There are 5 success principles. There's way more than that, but I would like to cover 5 different success principles that I've discovered that are just clear as day in the Bible. That you guys can just take it, use it as you'd like. It doesn't matter if you have 0 team members right now, and it's like you're a solopreneur, that's totally fine. Or if you've got a team of 100, okay, these are just simply principles you can apply into your life, into your business, and get a better result and continue to grow and continue to steward well. Okay, so success principle number 1 is to know your calling. Now, when I say know your calling, I think a lot of people are like, how would I even find my calling? Like, what am I called to do? Yes, it sounds great to know it, but what am I even called to do? Okay, and so the verse I would like to actually direct you to is Matthew 25, verse 14. Matthew 25, verse 14, if you're unfamiliar with it, is the parable of the talents. And in this parable, okay, there's a master, and he essentially has 3 servants. Now, the 3 servants, he's essentially telling guys, hey, I'm going to go away for a while. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of money, and you guys need to steward it, manage it well, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask for it at some point. Okay? Now, in the Bible, this parable says that he gives one servant 5 talents, the second servant 2 talents, two talents, and the third servant he gives to 1 talent. Okay? Now, for context, just to put things in perspective, because I used to always read this as a kid, and I was thinking these were like literally like tiny little bags of like gold coins. Okay? In modern day and age, if you actually go do the research, depending on the theologian and depending on the time frame and the region of the region that these talents were being essentially given in, most theologians would say these talents weighed somewhere between 68 to 75 pounds of gold. Okay, that's per talent. So he gave one servant 5 of those. That's like 350 pounds of gold. Okay, that's a lot. In today's day and age, in modern day and age, that equates to a little over $15 million in cash. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, that's how much value it actually was at that time. All right. Now the second servant, he gave 2 talents. So that's about 6 million. And the third servant, he essentially gave 3. It was technically, it's about $3.2 million in today's day and age gold conversion rate into USD. All right. So we're not talking small amounts of money. Now, when he came back, it's interesting because when he gathers his servants together, he says, "Hey guys, like ready, like give me my talents back, right?" And the first servant, he's like, "Hey, I took the 5 and I doubled them and I turned them into 10." And the master says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Now, the second servant, he comes back. He says, "Hey, I took your 2 talents that you gave me, essentially that $6 million. I doubled it, turned it into 12 million. Here's your 4 talents back." And he hears the same thing. He's called, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Now, here's the interesting thing in this story that I've known this since I was a kid, but it didn't strike me until probably a couple years ago. Okay. That third servant, he was like, "Hey, I know you're a mighty and harsh ruler, and I don't want to lose any of the stuff that you gave me. So I took it and buried it so I didn't lose it." Okay. So here's your 1 talent back. So essentially what he did, this is what I like realized a couple years ago. He essentially put it into a modern day savings account. He's like, "Yo, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to go spend it. So I'm just going to bury it in a way that I can't touch it. No one else is going to find it. And here you go. Here's your money back." But the interesting thing, he's not called, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." He's actually called, "You wicked and lazy servant." Wicked and lazy. The only difference that servant number 3 did versus the servant number 1 and 2, he simply saved. He did not multiply what was given to him, and he saved it. And not only was he called wicked and lazy, the parable goes on to say that the master says, "I'm going to take that 1 talent and give it to the man that doubled his 5 and turn it into 10. Okay, so here's what we can gather from this parable specifically in the Bible, is that number 1, we're called to multiply. So when I said you got to know your calling, you have to understand, especially in the marketplace, if God has called you to the marketplace, we are called to multiply what God has given us. Now, that might be, I mean, quite literally, you could multiply your wealth, you could multiply your team, you could multiply your health, you could multiply your family, right? Multiplication does not just mean money. But if you have been called to the marketplace and you've been called to multiply, you better darn multiply. Multiply the team, multiply the business, multiply the impact. Now, the thing that I also want you guys to understand here is that servant number 1 and 2, right? Keep in mind, these are bags of gold that weigh 70 pounds. I used to think, like, when I understood that they doubled it, I'm like, well, that's fine. Like, maybe they're just kind of walking around for a couple years and they just kind of like added more gold to it, right? They just got, here's another talent, here's another talent. They just continue to add, right? You actually can't do that. You can't do that. See, the Bible's great because if you study it and you understand some of the nuances, it brings so much more perspective. If you understand that servant number 1 had 5 talents, that's 350 pounds of gold. Okay, so if you have 350 pounds of gold, you're walking around. I'm a strong man. I'm 6'5". I'm 215 pounds. Like, I'm not the weakest man in the world, but there's no way in the world that you're going to find me walking down the street with 350 pounds that I'm carrying and then find a way to go double that. I'm not going to be given 350 pounds and then go ahead and add on another 70 pounds here, another 70 pounds there, and then suddenly give someone back 700 pounds. I can't do that. That's physically not possible, at least for me. Maybe it is for you. So here's what I've gathered from the act of multiplication according to this parable. If we're called to multiply, multiplication is quite literally not addition. See, a lot of people think that they're trying to I'm trying to add on revenue. I'm trying to grow my revenue. I'm trying to grow my team. And they think that the best way to grow their finances is to simply add. If you're trying to play the addition game, it is the slowest, most inefficient way to ever grow your wealth and truly multiply what God has given you. Multiplication, you actually have to be willing to plant. You have to be willing to give up what God has given you so that He can do the growth, or the investment vehicle can do the growth, and then you could reap the rewards later. Okay, so quite literally, to turn the 5 turn the 350 pounds of gold into 700 pounds, you have to give up. You have to go invest that. And so for some of you guys, you might literally need to understand, not might, we all need to understand that if we want to grow our wealth, the best way to do so is not playing the addition game. We have to multiply. And to multiply, we have to invest. We have to give up what is currently, to some degree, what is currently in the bank account. Maybe put something on a card. Everyone's different. So I don't know what your financial situation looks like. And the degree of which you should invest also totally is up to you. But you need to understand we're called to multiply. Okay. Now, before I go on, I understand that there are some people like, they might be listening to this and they're like, maybe he's twisting some words here. Okay, like that sounds too easy. Okay, like I've never seen multiplication anywhere else in the Bible. Well, let's actually go to it's in Genesis. It's the first words that God ever spoke to humanity. And it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God says, "Be faithful, do multiply, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the sky." Okay, be, do, have. He literally, the first words into humanity, he's saying, be, do, have. Be faithful, do multiply. Literally, multiplication is in almost every single translation of the Bible, in the English translation, all of the ones I've looked up at least. It literally says, do multiply and have dominion. See, he gives us the success principles right then and there. I'm sure many of you guys may have heard the term be, do, have. Like if you want to be successful, and essentially, if you want to have the yacht or, you want to have the fancy stuff, if you want to have success, you need to be the type of person that would have those things. It came from God. Like God spoke it to humanity first and foremost. He told us that before he told us anything else. Okay. Before he said, don't eat from the trees. That was literally the first thing he told us to do. Okay. Be, do, have. So anyway, just to be clear, multiplication is our calling. We are called to multiply. That does not just mean money, but in the context of the marketplace, yeah, multiply what God has given you. I don't care if you have a little or if you have a lot, you've got to multiply. All right, so that is the first thing. Now, as a sub-bullet of that, I would mention when people understand that they're called to go do something, I think the natural question or the natural thought process that gets brought up is like, yeah, but like how? Right? Like you understand what you're supposed to do. Then the next question is like, but how am I supposed to do it? And you start to ask all of these nuanced questions. Okay. The Bible has something else I want to mention here, which is later on in Genesis. If you go to Genesis chapter 19, it talks about the destruction of the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. Quick recap on this. If anyone's super unfamiliar, it's essentially Sin City. It's modern day Sin City. It's this entire land of people that God is just like so angered by. He's like, what? These people are just revolting. They're specifically doing everything and anything and everything they can to go against my word. I'm just done. Like, I just want to, I want to hit the refresh button on this city. Let's just wipe it out. And one of the angels like, yo, I need to go down and save. Okay. There's one righteous family. Okay. It's this man named Lot and his wife and their family. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go save them. And the angel, real quick, if we go to Genesis chapter 19, it's verse 17. The angel comes to Sodom and Gomorrah and goes and has a conversation with Lot. And it says, the angel said to Lot and his family, run for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere on the plain. Run to the mountains or else you will be swept away. Let's think about what he says, and then let's think about what he doesn't say, okay? What he says is run, go to the mountains, don't turn back, or else you will be swept away, okay? He's giving them a calling. Here's what he doesn't say. Hey, you should be asking me about the mountain man Bob, who you're going to run into in the mountains. You should be asking me, hey, let's talk about your living situation, what it's going to look like when you get to the mountains. You should be asking me, what you're going to do for your job or what you're going to do to eat and drink whenever you get over there. He doesn't talk about that at all. He just says, run and do not look back. See, they're given a calling and they're not called to ask all of those extra little questions that could slow them down and quite literally make them turn back. So here's what I want you to understand. is number one, when we're called to run, okay, we're not called to and we're called to multiply. We don't have to sit here and ask all of these like how questions, okay? God will provide those in due time. There are always doors that will open when he calls you to step into a new opportunity, all right? But here's what happens though in Genesis chapter 19, just after verse 17, when it says run. If you guys know about Lot's wife, it doesn't end great for her. When they start running, it says that Lot's wife actually did turn and she did look back. When she turned and looked back, it says that she was turned into a pillar of salt in that very instant. She died right then and there, okay? And it's not because, like, as a kid, I was always wondering, like, yeah, but I would want to see, like, it says that he was going to go rain down sulfur from the sky. Like, I'd want to see a city burn. Like, it kind of sounds graphic. Like, maybe I'm a pyromaniac, but, like, I think that'd be interesting to watch. That's not why she turned back. Okay, she turned back because she had a longing for what was. She had a longing for her old community. She had a longing for the way she had been living her life. She spent too much time in an area she was not called to be in. And she developed this affinity for it, and she didn't want to actually move forward. She's like, I know I'm supposed to go back, but like, man, I kind of like what I had back here. And she died because of that, okay? The point is, you will never become the business owner or the leader or the just the marketplace, minister that you were called to be if you are spending too much time looking back in the season that you've been in. If you're being called to step into a new chapter, you've got to step into it. Okay, God will provide all of those hows. He will provide all of the nuanced details once you step through that doorway. But he does not reveal, if you even think about like stepping into a new door, if it's like, hey, here's this door, I'm opening it for you, you need to run through there. You don't know what's on the other side of that door. That is the purpose. Like if I said, hey guys, come on over to my house, and I open up my door, you don't know what's upstairs. You don't know where the kitchen is, where the bathroom is. You don't know any of that. But you can't know until you go into the door. You've got to run through that door with, it'd be kind of weird if you just ran into my house, but like you've got to go through the doorway with expectation, knowing that like it's gonna be okay. Like I'm not doing this on my own. I've got someone helping me. Okay. So the next question is like, who's gonna help you? Well, first of all, this is gonna take us into I shouldn't say first of all. This is gonna take us into the second success principle. This is about changing your environment. So Proverbs 13:20 is where I'm gonna pull this one from, and this is from good old King Solomon. Anyone that has ever read the Bible, or even believes the Bible to be remotely true, would probably have heard of King Solomon. King Solomon is the richest man who has ever stepped foot on planet Earth. He makes Bezos and Zuckerberg and Musk and Trump and name your millionaire or billionaire, he makes them all look cute when it comes to wealth, okay? He had so much money. It says that the Bible actually says that there has never been anyone like him and never will be anyone like him in terms of how much wisdom and wealth he had, okay? So if we understand that, like, this is like essentially the modern day, not even modern day, quite literally in history, the richest man who's ever stepped foot on this earth, and you told me that he's going to step into this room and give me some advice on like how to succeed in life, I am going to give it a whole lot of weight, some weightiness with everything he says. Okay, now he says in Proverbs 13:20, one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer much harm. Maybe I said that too fast. So let me say this one more time. And I want you to think about yourself and the environment you're in right now. Not right now virtually, but up until this call. Who have you been surrounding yourself with? It says, one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer much harm. I don't care what environment you're in. I'm sure you've heard the adage that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is a biblical principle. Okay, some of the best tactical principles that people talk about with success are pulled from the Bible. They just don't want to give credit where credit's due. You are literally the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if you are surrounding yourself with other people that are not focused on leadership, do you really think you're going to get better at leadership? If you're surrounding yourself, if the majority of the people that you're surrounded by in a daily environment are just clocking into work and clocking out, They're just trying to do a good job, but they're not actually focused on developing their leadership capabilities, and let alone doing so in accordance to their faith. Do you really think that that's going to make you a better leader? If you're not actively surrounding yourself with business owners who are growing their businesses, who are multiplying their businesses, and maybe they hit $1 million a year last year and they're currently on pace for a $5 million a year this year. Maybe they had a team of 10 people last year and now they already have a team of 40. That's multiplication. If you're not surrounded by people like that, not saying it's a bad thing, but just pay attention to who you're surrounded by, because you will become like them if you're not already. Actually, you probably are already. So do an audit of your environment. See, when you're called to step into a new season, you don't have to do it on your own. You can go surround yourself strategically with other people who are also doing what it is that you're called to do. And when you do that, you will inevitably achieve the result with a significantly lower amount of input. It's just easier. And it's almost like a success hack. It's almost, I'm reminded of video games back in the day where they're like cheat codes that you could unlock things without actually having to do the real work. It's about the closest thing you could get to that. It's a law of nature that rising tides will rise all ships. I'm sure you guys heard that before. It's the same. If you're surrounded by a bunch of other people that are achieving the result that you're trying to achieve, it's only natural their way of operating, their way of seeing things, their way of making decisions are going to start to rub off on you without you even trying. It's just you're just a product of nature. Or you're a product of your environment, right? It's a rule of nature, okay? So to change your environment is success principle number 2. And just make sure that you're being very, very conscious of who you're spending your time by. That's why, admittedly, why I love what Peter's doing. He does not just work with people one-on-one. All of his clients get to meet each other. I genuinely do not know another leadership-oriented coach or leader that does that for people. I personally invested $36,000 to work with someone that was supposed to help me become a better leader back in 2022. I didn't get to meet a single one of their other clients. I would have loved for that opportunity. I felt like I was on this island by myself in this new season of business, and the only person I was able to rely on was this leadership person. I was it was cool, but were they were their clients going through the same struggles I was having? It didn't feel like I was in this with anyone. I didn't feel like I was on a bus with anyone else. I want to be surrounded by community. Community is also a biblically driven principle. We are supposed to be in community. That's just a bonus. I wouldn't even plan on bringing that one up today. Okay? That's the point of church. Church is not about a 4-wall building. It's about your community and spending time with other people that are going to, iron sharpens iron. So anyway, without driving the point home too far, change your environment. Just be very careful of the people that you're spending your time with, and craft your environment, craft your community with people that are achieving what it is that you want to achieve. Okay. Now, success principle number 3 is to seek wisdom. So this is going to be also from King Solomon. Once again, richest man on earth. Let's pay attention to what this guy has to say about leveling up in life. Okay. He says, it's Proverbs 3, 13, and 14, if you want to look this up. It says, happy is a man who finds wisdom and who acquires understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and her revenue is better than gold. I'll read that one more time. Happy is a man who finds wisdom and who acquires understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and her revenue is better than gold. Okay, other translations would this essentially is saying, and this is what he was trying to say, if you invest into wisdom and understanding, it will produce a higher return on investment than buying gold and silver. That's what this says. Okay, why would the richest man on earth ever say that? If you think about it, it actually makes a whole lot of sense. King Solomon, he got his wealth from, really it stems to one core defining moment in his life where he decided to make a decision that would literally change his life for forever. In a prayer, he knew that he was going to be a king. And God was like, one thing, it's kind of like a genie in a bottle situation. It was like, hey, give me your one wish. Give me your one prayer. Like, what would you like? And I will give it to you. And he says, honestly, he's like, this was the heart posture he was in. He's like, God, I know I'm supposed to steward your people well. I'm supposed to lead them well. Lead, keyword lead. I need to lead these people well. I'm new to this. What am I supposed to do? Like, God, give me the wisdom that I need to take care of your people. That's the one thing I want to pray for right now. I know I'm called to take care of your people, and I know I'm ill-equipped for that right now. So give me the wisdom that I will need to take care of your people in a way that brings you honor and glory. That's ultimately what his prayer was. And God was like, man after my own heart right here. You're not asking for the riches. You're not asking for the glory. You're not asking for the fame. You just want to take care of my people? You want to lead well? Cool. Because you ask for the wisdom to do that, everything else is going to be handed to you. You'll have more wealth than you could possibly know what to do with. That's ultimately how that unfolded. And he understood that when he acquired wisdom, it's actually what allowed him to acquire wealth. Not just because God just said, here's wealth, but if you pay attention to King Solomon, he was actually a consultant. See, people think that he just made all of his money because a bunch of people just gave him money, almost like taxes. That is not how King Solomon became the richest king on earth, okay? Or the richest man on earth, not just king, okay? He had other royalty coming to him to acquire the wisdom that he had and seek the wisdom that he had been given, okay? He was a consultant. In 1 Kings chapter 10, talks about the Queen of Sheba. She was a queen of another nation, and she came on over, and she'd been hearing of all of these rumors and all of these, this murmuring of how much wisdom this random King Solomon has. And so she's like, okay, if this man knows half of what I've been told he knows, he's going to be worth a whole lot of money for me. I'm more than happy to pay this man for essentially a consulting session. And so she travels on over. She brings a ton of gold and almug wood and spices and all of these resources that she was prepared to gift him if he was able to answer literally half of what she'd heard. And it says later in that chapter that after they were spending some time with each other, she actually goes on to say, the reports that I heard from you don't even account for half of the wisdom that you presented today. Essentially, your reputation, while it was big, it's about half of what you just gave me today. You just over-delivered in the amount of value that you gave me. And so she then, that day, said, here's 120 talents of gold. Now you guys understand how much a talent is. $3 million roughly, a little over $3 million of gold. Okay? So that's for one talent. She gave that man about $360 million of gold that day, on top of more spices and almug wood than had ever been given. He was conservatively given probably close to $400 or $500 million that day from one consulting session. Talk about a highly paid consultant right there. McKinsey & Co. could probably learn a couple things from that man. Okay? Point is, though, he was able to make that much money because of how wise he was. And what he's telling us right now that we can all glean from is that if we pay for wisdom, if we just simply, obviously pray for it as well, but just go shortcut here. You could also just go pay someone to learn what it is that they know, and it shortcuts your learning curve. That's why she was paying so much. That's why all of the other merchants and all of the other business owners in his region were giving him so much money every single year, because they were continuing to seek out his wisdom, and they were able to apply that wisdom to go lead their people well. Same thing for you guys, and same thing for myself today. Just so you guys understand, I'm preaching to the choir. I fully believe every single one of these things, and I put them into practice. The most recent time I counted, I have 3 different groups that I am paying in total about $122,000 a year for right now. At the age of the ripe old age of 31, I pay $122,000 a year just to be a part of 3 different, essentially coaching groups, communities, etc. Okay, if you add on travel and everything on top of that, I'm probably paying a little north of $200,000 a year, ultimately to seek wisdom and change my community. Those 2 things alone is what I'm paying about $200,000 a year for. I want to change my community, and I want to curate this community of people that will just naturally lift me up, of people that are at where I want to be or going where I'm going. and people that will allow me to shortcut my learning curve and allow me to seek wisdom and acquire understanding so much faster, because it's from those that you're then able to get way more gold and silver than you could ever possibly ask for. Okay. So that's the next thing. Once again, just if some of you guys, maybe you're actively paying that much, or maybe more, maybe a little bit less, and like, that's fine. There's not a rule or a limit to how much you need to invest. The point is, invest in wisdom. Sometimes you got to pay for it, because to my knowledge, I think you guys are all here today because you paid to be here. So congratulations on that. Like, I'm not a fan of free things because no one takes them seriously. I think honestly, and it's a shame, I think that's why a lot of Christians are so lukewarm, because they don't have to pay for it. They don't understand the sacrifice that Jesus gave on the cross, nor do they have to even pay. Obviously, sure, you don't have to pay to be a part of a church. You could tithe, and you should tithe, of course. That's a different conversation for a different time. But because people don't pay for their relationship with the Lord, I genuinely believe that is one of the main reasons people don't take it to heart and don't truly have a fear of God. Once again, that's a different thing for a different day. But anyway, all right, fourth one. If you guys are still with me, can you guys just give me like a thumbs up or a yeah or something in the chat? I want to make sure I'm not just talking to a random screen, because right now I'm just staring at myself. I've got Peter in the corner too, but I can't see everyone else. All right, cool. All right, so guys, fourth principle I want to talk to you guys about today. I have a mentor. He calls this the law of advancement. Call it whatever you'd like, but let's talk about the verse first. The verse is out of Colossians 2, verse 7. Okay, the verse specifically says, "So then, just as you receive Christ Jesus as your Lord, continue to walk in him, being rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught, and overflowing with gratitude." Okay, what success principle did I just give? What, like, I could reread that 10 times, and it would be easy to miss. So let me zoom in on one specific spot of that entire passage. Right after it's, continue to walk in him, it says, being rooted and built up in him. What does that mean? Being rooted and built up. Well, that's growth in two separate directions. That's kind of weird, right? Like, when I think about growth, normally it's like you grow up, you could also shrink. But I don't typically think of growing in two separate directions, especially at the same time. So being rooted and built up in him, what it's really painting the picture of is a tree. See, a tree, if you think about it, in order for it to grow up, you don't just plant a seed and all of a sudden it just sprouts up into a huge oak tree, right? A tree is able to grow up because it first must grow down. You have to plant the seed. That's actually kind of like the initial investment, if we're being really honest. Like, if we're just putting it in a modern day and age, like money terms, right? Like, sometimes you got to plant the seed, you've got to invest. And then people think that because you go pay that deposit or whatever, that like all of a sudden you're then supposed to grow up. But that's not how it works. You have to go grow your roots, right? So the tree, when you look outside, you see a big, beautiful oak tree, right? Or whatever tree is your favorite. Once the seed's planted, the first growth that begins, it has to grow roots. It has to go deeper and wider and stronger roots. And from the growth below the ground is what allows the growth above the ground to be, big, strong, beautiful, and what we all enjoy and what we all get to see the fruits of, okay? And so if we think about this, like, this is just a law of nature. And this is why my mentor of mine, he calls it the law of advancement. He's like, if you want to advance in life, you have to actually first go down. Okay, it's like taking one step back to go two steps forward. In nature, everything, in order for it to go up, must first go down. If you think about a bird doesn't get born, hatch from the egg, and suddenly start flying straight up. Like, it just doesn't happen. Okay, it actually will fall from its nest. And from the falling of its nest and like kind of fluttering of its wings and figuring things out is actually what it allows to like figure out what it's like for its wings to catch the air just right, and then allows it to fly back up. If you think about even modern day technology, if you guys fly very often, I fly all the time. I'm at the airport a couple times a month. And if you ever look right outside those little windows as you're about to take off, you're going down the runway, and you look outside at the wings, there's these little like flaps or rudders. Sorry, forgive me for not being an aviation expert, but there's these little like flaps on the back of the wings. And in order for that plane, as it's going straight down the runway and it's going pretty fast, in order for it to actually take off, those flaps have to first get pointed down. And from the downward pointing, the force from that is actually what allows the flaps to then essentially kind of catch the wind just right and then start to go up. It's literally, even for a plane to fly up, the plane has to first be directed downwards. It might sound cheesy, but like, it's just a thing. Like, prove me wrong. Please try it. I've just not seen it. Everything in nature, in order for it to grow up, it must first go down. And for me, when I look at this, it's like, if we're talking about God and our relationship with him, the reason why he was saying this is like, if we want to produce a lot of fruit, we have to first abide in Scripture. We have to first, like, the more secret time we're spending and, our solitude that we're spending with the Lord, and the solitude that we're spending in Scripture and in prayer, it's from our solitude with God in our secret places. That is what allows us to bear the fruit and have the fruit of the Spirit that many other people are able to see, and Lord willing are able to see, right? And the more fruit you have is indicative of how strong your roots are and your quiet time is with the Lord. But it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in wealth. Like, if you really want a ton of fruit, if you really want a huge team, if you really want a business that's flourishing and a team that looks up to you and a team that's also invested in themselves, you've got to be the person that's invested in yourself. You've got to be doing some stuff in your secret place. You've got to be doing some stuff to acquire the wisdom on your own and growing your own strong roots so that when the inevitable storms come through, sometimes you'll see a big tree get wiped out. It's because the roots aren't always the strongest, okay? But sometimes huge storms, tornadoes will roll through here, and trees are just fine. The trees that are just fine are the ones with the strongest root systems and the strongest, quite literally just the strongest root systems. And the thing in business, when you have inevitable downturn, you have an inevitable season just of struggle. Sometimes might be a lawsuit. Sometimes maybe the FTC coming for you. Sometimes, it's a whole bunch of, customers complaining. Maybe it's one bad Reddit review that goes viral. Maybe, I don't know, the economy has a downturn. Maybe it's something completely out of your control. If you want your team to look up to you and you want your team to continue to look, not just look up to you, but you want your team to thrive and you want your business to thrive, it's on you as a leader to go into your secret place and go down first. You got to go down in order for things to grow up, no matter what the season is. So that, for me, it goes back to like step one of if we're called to multiply, we've got to invest. And literally, it's like you've got to understand that you've got to be okay with your bank account going down in order for it to go up at a significantly higher rate. You've got to be okay. This isn't just money, by the way. Even think body, okay? If you think like, I want to build up my muscles, you don't just go add muscle. You have to go tear your muscles. You have to go break them down for them to be built back up. This is just a law of nature, okay? Not trying to over-spiritualize this, not trying to make this all about money. It's just a law of nature. If you want to grow up, you have to first take things down. You have to first take that bank account down. You've got to first, take a step back. It's how it works. Okay, now the fifth thing, hopefully I'm not running too late on time here. The fifth thing and the final thing is to take action. What do I mean by that? Ecclesiastes is where I'm going to pull this one from. It's chapter 11, verse 4. And it says, one who watches the wind will not sow, and one who watches the clouds will not reap. Let me say that one more time. One who watches the wind will not sow, and the one who watches the cloud will not reap. What that means is will not sow. That's essentially will not plant seeds. So if we think about farmers, the farmer who's watching the wind and essentially saying like, oh, is it good weather today? Like, is this convenient weather? If he's waiting for the weather to be perfect and he's waiting for conditions to be perfect, he's probably not ever going to actually go plant seeds. And if you're not planting seeds and you're just watching the weather and you're waiting for perfect timing, because you're not planting seeds, nor will you reap a harvest. You're not going to get the result that you want to get if you're not planting seeds and going down first. Other translations would essentially say farmers who wait for the perfect weather will never plant, and if they watch every cloud, they will not reap that harvest, okay? The point here is that you've got to take action, and this is not my words. This is in the Bible. If you want to get a result, you've got to take action despite your circumstance. It's not just you. This is all of us. Like the times in my life where I've grown the most are when I've made a commitment that may seem really overwhelming. It's like, I'm in the middle of a move. I'm actually, one of the biggest seasons of growth that I ever reaped was like at the very start of my business. I had been struggling. It wasn't the very start of my business, but I feel like it with how little money I was making. My wife and I, we were about to move into a home in 2020. And at the time, homeboy was making like $6,000 to maybe $8,000 a month in revenue. Okay, I was struggling to pay my wife and I $2,000 a month. I don't know how, had just gotten approved to buy a home, and we had signed on the home. Like we were about 2 weeks away from closing day. We were approved, but like I was stressing. And my wife was actually about to get less money from her job situation. She was actually essentially about to get demoted, essentially. She was going to be making like $1,300 a month less. And we're these newlyweds, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be leading her well, and I can't even pay us $2K, and now I'm supposed to pay us like $3,200 a month. And I'm also supposed to buy this home in 2 weeks, and my business is so inconsistent. And I also had pre-sold this mastermind at the time, and I used all of the money up front to pay some other bills. And long story short, I was like $15,000 in debt. I had maybe $3,000 in my business bank account. Like I was struggling. Okay. I had clients with great results, but I was struggling hardcore. And I was 2 weeks away from buying this home. And I remember thinking, if I don't make a change now, we're screwed. Like we genuinely are not going to be able to afford this home. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, I'm already using a credit card. I don't know what to do. Like sometimes it's like, oh, you got to put your back against the wall. My back was already against the wall. And I actually felt, and maybe this might ring true with someone today. My back was already against the wall, and it felt like it was glued. And it actually felt like the only way to break through from this wall, I can't run forward without movement away from the wall. I actually had to take an extra step back and almost like break the drywall around me to create some room, which is like, whew. What I ended up doing was I think it was an $11,000 investment. Had to go get another credit card, put an $11,000 investment on that credit card, even had to do a payment plan to be really transparent with you, because like I didn't know how I was going to pay this thing off. And I had to take a step back and figure out like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? Prayed about it, and it was like, it doesn't make sense in the natural, but if you guys are believers, anytime God is telling you to do something, you just have peace about it, despite how uncomfortable it may make you feel, how little sense it makes in the natural to just go take action on something. And anyway, put this thing on a credit card. The very next 30 days, I closed $18,000 in revenue. 30 days after that, I closed $24,000 in revenue. 30 days after that, I closed $26,000 in revenue. I went from like $6,000 to $8,000 a month to like 20 something plus $1,000 a month almost immediately. It was from the fact that like I had to just take action because my circumstances sucked. It's when you take action in the worst circumstances is actually what allows you to see the breakthrough, because you're making a commitment to making things work no matter how convenient or busy life may be. Okay. And so my encouragement for all of you guys today, and thankfully, by the way, I'm not in that situation anymore. We have a multi-7-figure business now. Praise the Lord. But my encouragement for all of you guys today is I don't know where you're at. I don't know, once again, I don't know if you have 0 team members on your team. Maybe you're a solopreneur and you're just trying to figure out like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to go hire my first employee, because I'm not even making enough revenue on a consistent basis, and I don't even have the system set up. Okay. Or maybe you do have 100 people on your team, and maybe your culture is just not quite aligned in a way that it's just not glorifying to God. Or maybe it's like, it's fine, but you're just kind of maintaining, and you haven't been multiplying. if you feel that God is calling you to actually multiply and go take that next step, my encouragement for you is to make a decision. The root word of decide means to cut off. It means to cut off all other options. And to cut off all other options, it's not about which option you choose. It's just about choosing one and moving forward. And so some of you guys today have been here the last few days, and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to cut off the options of leadership, and like I don't care. I don't feel like I'm called to move forward in my leadership capabilities or grow my business any further. And I'm just going to continue to maintain. And like, I'm deciding that today, and I'm just going to cut off all other options. No big deal. I'll stay in this position for the next 6 to 12 months, because that's usually what happens when a door is opened. If we don't walk through it, typically we will stay in that room for another 6 to 12 months before we're even open to something else. So that's fine. Like, I do not mind. Like, you need to do what you feel like you're being called to do. But others of you, you've been here the last few days, and you're like, no, I've got peace. Like, I don't 100% know what's on the other side of this door, but I know I need to run through it and just cut ties with the way that I've been operating this business, cut ties with the way I've been leading my team, cut ties with the way maybe you haven't even been focused on leadership, just the way that you've been operating in your silent time or in your secret place. And you know it's time to level up, first for yourself, but then for your team and even your family, all of their families, all of your future customers. If you know it's time to level up, my encouragement for you today is to decide to move forward with Peter. And I don't even know all the nuances of the ways he's going to help you. And sometimes the biggest breakthroughs are, once again, you don't know what's on the other side. You just know that you're following the right leader, and you know that you're going to be taken well care of. And I trust and believe in Peter that he's one of the absolute best people you guys can be learning from to steward your business well, steward your leadership capabilities well. It will not just impact your family. It will not just impact your employees, but it will also impact yourself. It will impact your family and multiple other people's families as well as your customers. Like, there's so much of an exponential impact that's going to occur when you work with Peter. I've seen other people do it. Plus, you also, if you decide to book that call, admittedly, you're just going to get 1 hour with me, and we're just going to dive in and let's figure out how do we go add 100K to your business, not over the next year. How do we do it next month? How do we go add maybe $1 million day into your business at some point in the next couple months? I don't know what that looks like for you, but anyway, that's my encouragement for you all today. Love you all. Thank you so much for letting me take up. Hopefully I didn't go over time, Peter, but I think I was right on the hour, so hopefully that was okay.
You're great, man. You're great. Gosh, you guys, give it up for Zach. I mean, he just brought so much biblical knowledge. He spent a bunch of time with us. So give it up for him in the chat, please. Let him know that you appreciate him. I appreciate the knowledge and the absolutely absurd offer you just made to everyone. And if you didn't hear it in the beginning, he's giving every single person that reserves a seat in our cohort, they're going to get a one-on-one call with him. And so his intention is to gain understanding with your business, give you several ideas on how to unlock piles of revenue, like he just said. And he's already explained how much value he's brought other companies. And so that is tremendous. And so my question to you guys is, what would keep you from booking a no-risk call with me? So honestly, I mean, like you said, you've been here today. You've been here the last couple of days because you clearly need a forcing function to move that thing to the next level, to move your business and your leadership to the next level. And if you don't remember what a forcing function is, we talked about it yesterday. Those are external constructors, constraints, commitments, people that make success inevitable. So like Zach was talking about how important it is to level up the people you surround yourself with and the absurd amount of money that he spends to do that. That's where this opportunity is. It's surrounding yourself with other legends of leaders, right? That are invested in the same thing you're invested in. They want to level up in their leadership, in their business, in their home, in their community, right? They want to show up the way God is calling them to do. And so that's my question. What's keeping you from booking a call? We got a couple of people on this call right now, several people on this call right now that have already booked that call with us. And so that call is directly with me. We get to discuss and ensure that the program that we're offering is the correct one for you. If not, we refund you. If it is, you'll gain access to coaching with me, my team, our content, all the bonuses I showed you yesterday, and that one-on-one call with Zach. And so you've got everything to gain. nothing to lose. You just go to yokedleaders.com. Trev, put that in the chat so that people can have it. And like I was talking to you guys about yesterday, I mean, willpower, it's unreliable. You need the forcing function. You need the environment that you're in to change for you to be able to change. And so, what mechanisms can you put in place that are going to guarantee that you take that new path to the 2.0 version of yourself? God called people out of their comfort zones into new environments. And so we're opening it up to a Q&A here in the chat. What questions do you have? What's keeping you from hopping on a call with me? Like I said, it's yesterday, it's $97. That reserves a seat. It reserves all the bonuses we talked about yesterday, and it reserves that bonus call with Zach. Even if you don't sign up as a client, he is committing to spending 1 hour with you to help you get to that next level of revenue, get to that next level of leadership. And so let's open it up to Q&A, and we'll see what questions you have. Daniel Leonard says, my train of thought is more along the lines of leadership more than business. The principles I've learned over the last few days have been priceless. Doesn't really fall into the business venue. Thank you so much. I'm learning so fast right now. I love it. I love it. It's great. How do I get the videos the last 3 days to review with my wife to pray and discuss? Yes, all of those, Barry, will be in your email. So you'll have access to those. And just to clarify too, guys, we're only taking 15 reservations and we're only accepting 12 people into the next cohort. That's it. And so whether that fills up today or it fills up by the deadline Friday at midnight, whatever comes first. And if Friday comes at midnight and we're not completely full, that's it. It'll be shut down anyways. And let me share on the screen real quick because I know there's some folks here that missed day 2, so you can see this really quickly. 1 second. Hit one moment here. I can show you what you're getting and what's included, and then all the bonuses we offered yesterday, just so you can see it. And so typically you get just the yoke, the Leaders Forge. That's 15 grand. We included blacksmith sessions, which are 6 additional sessions, the mirror test, the field manual, the brotherhood blueprint. I outline all of those at the end of day 2. And so if you want to check out that recording, you can see it. And on top of that, if you do one installment, we give you additional discount down to $12,000. And so $12,000 for a $26,000 value. That's 12 sessions with us. But we won't, like I said yesterday, we're not taking your money today. We need to make sure that you're actually the right fit for the program. And so you go to yokedleaders.com, you grab a seat. We'll have a conversation directly, you and I. I'm not passing you off. And then we're gonna talk about whether that my earbuds just died. Whether you are the right fit for the program. If you're not, you get a refund, but you still get to talk to Zach. If you are the right fit, then you get to proceed. So that is, let me switch to my other speakers here. There we go. So that's what's included. And then just a screenshot of our checkout page. We literally are only taking 15 reservations. And so grab that spot there. Let me know what your questions are here in the Q&A. I'm just waiting for some of those to come through. Corey said, I sold my business. Can you help me figure out next calling venture? Could go a bunch of different directions if not. Absolutely. And so we're going to be talking about your voice, your leadership style, the way that you show up. We look in the rearview mirror and then we look through the windshield. And so it helps you to identify what's worked in the past and what hasn't. I love going in those directions, and I can speak to that intimately because we sold our last business 18 months ago. So absolutely. I think we can have a lot of fun there, man. Love that, Corey. Yeah, I'd love to chat with you. Barry, looks like you've got Treb's taking care of you there. Now, some folks are concerned with the cash investment, and like I said yesterday, it should be a meaningful amount of money because people that pay attention. You guys have heard that. So if it meant nothing to you, you'd be less committed. So a lot of us get free things, a lot of us get cheap things, and we treat them like they're cheap, right? And it's a serious investment because this is a serious solution. These are those times in your life where you can actually collapse the timeline and go a lot farther, a lot faster together. And so it's like, well, if we want to go, if we want to go cheap, we can go alone, right? And so I love the Buffett quote I shared with you guys yesterday. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. And we've built in a ton of value here. Um, so anyway, so you've got three options. You can spend no money and we can bury it, like the analogy that Zach's been talking about today, and be in the same place you are a year from now. And some of us need more time. Some of us need more time to just be where we're at. But the problem with that is that you look back in the rearview mirror and you're like, man, I wish I would have taken some action. I learned about this a while ago. There's been plenty of times in my life where I read something and I don't take action. And then 5 years down the road, I look and I read it again and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already learned this. Why didn't I apply it? I just lost 5 years of compound interest. I lost 5 years of being able to move faster and faster and faster. What did Graham say? If you don't act now, you can't change now. That's right. It's true. And so it's time to put money in place to really, truly start making a difference. And those are those times where we can have a forcing function. And I shared with you guys too this screenshot of the likelihood of achieving your goal when you have an accountability appointment is 95% higher. Again, because it's not willpower, it's your environment. We are the mechanism that we can put in place. We're the mechanism that we can put in place to surround you with an opportunity to almost guarantee that you move on to that new path, that new 2.0 version of yourself. I just got off a yoked cohort call right before we got on with you. And hearing the transformation that's happened in these people's lives in less than 6 weeks is truly tremendous. I think they're on week 7. Incredible. Why? Because we give them the sharper tools, the better resources, the community leaders that are striving to go faster together, and someone who's paying attention, who's making sure that, hey, we're checking on you, we're paying attention, we're watching. And these folks are able to unlock years of change. One of our clients just overcame something she's been trying to work on for 30 years. And she's only been with us for 6 weeks. It's absolutely incredible. This is the message I got from one of our clients. I love getting messages like this because coaching and accountability, it allows for real change. We're not going to rely on willpower. My buddy says we don't smoke hopium here, right? That's not hope. It's creating a new environment that can almost guarantee your success. And so when we see folks that are on the call and they're on here for all 3 days and clearly your intentions are there, your desire is there, and we have that fear that's keeping us from moving on, moving forward. I implore you to really think and pray about it. You have between now and Friday. That's because we will be launching very, very soon. And then you'll start to see result after result. Evelyn, what do you say here in the chat? Currently struggling and looking for a mentor to help me grow my current business, looking to possibly scale and grow. My company is currently not in the place to pay for the full program. Do you offer payment options? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Grab a spot, Evelyn, and we can absolutely talk about that. That's a real thing. Cash flow is a real thing. What did Zig Ziglar say? Graham, you said something about Zig Ziglar earlier in this call. He said, money is not that important, but it's relatively close to air. When you don't have it, you notice, right? And so cash flow is a real thing. We can help you with that. That's no problem. So hop on and grab a call and we'll talk about that. And some of you are thinking like that things don't stick and that, things never stick and I'm wasting my time. I talked about this a lot yesterday. And I'm repeating this for the folks that need to hear it again, for the folks that didn't hear it yesterday. The time is different if your intentions are still there. The time is different if your desire is still there, if your commitment is still there. I can't give you that. You need to make sure that your desire is there, that you're committed to it, right? Some of you think like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I have the time. And I told you this yesterday. Pull out a piece of paper and think about all the things that you're working on, all the things you're trying, all the ways you're spending time to to lead better, delegate better, work on the business instead of in the business. Go from most effective to least effective, cross out the last one and replace it with yoked, and you're done. Now you have time. And you're going to be doing it with us instead of by yourself, and that's the best part. I showed you guys plenty of examples yesterday of very important, very successful, very busy people that somehow still found the time to work with us and receive all the growth that I've already mentioned. They have the same 24 hours that you do. It's not about having more or less time. It's what we do with it that matters. Irma says, I'm an interior designer and just getting into full time the business. If really slow, only working the business. Money's just not there for me. Will this program be offered again? We will eventually offer it again. Honestly, have no idea when. So we will offer it again. I don't know when. And so if it's something that you need to talk about, figuring out how to afford it, like Evelyn was just talking about, hop on a call and we can talk about it. We can discuss different options for you. And if we get on the call and there's absolutely no way to move forward, then we'll refund you like I mentioned. And you'll get that call with Zach still. I don't know why he's offering that. I think it's crazy. Okay. These are the sharper tools that I keep talking about. And remember that everything, all growth is on the other side of fear. Growth and comfort do not coexist. And Zach talked about it earlier with the analogy of him buying his home when he couldn't afford it. God's most transformational work in your life often begins at the edge of your comfort zone. That's where faith steps in. Fear gets left behind. We do timeline exercises with clients all the time. And I have them charted out, low points, low moments, and high moments. And I say, hey, don't connect the dots yet. Just put dots from birth to your current age. High moments, low moments, right? Someone died, you got married, you went to college, you moved out, you did something stupid, all this stuff, right? And now I'm like, all right, now connect them. High moments are almost always preceded by low moments. It's in the pain that we grow. It's in the commitment that we grow. It's in the low moments that we grow. I've got gobs of examples of those, unfortunately, in my life. But that's where God works. He works in your life at the edge of your comfort zone. There are things that you look back on, you're like, man, I wish I didn't go through that. But that's where the growth happens. And so don't let fear overtake you. I'm sure there's been plenty of times in your life where fear almost did, and you didn't let it happen. You look back, you're like, dang, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I didn't let that control me because it was so powerful. It's so powerful what you got out of it. We had a terrible medical crisis here in our family 3 years ago. It was the worst time in our history of our home. The most growth in our lives happened after that because it's a life clarifying moment. You see things clearly. So don't let the fear overtake you. So just to clarify, these sessions with us are hands-on, roll up your sleeves, getting things done, personalized work to you. Small cohort, no more than 12. We will address your unique situation during those calls. There's 12 weeks, once a week. Most calls are directly with me. You got a few with Coach Carlos. He helps you with scorecards and metrics and KPIs and measurables. And that $97 if we are the right fit, if you are the right fit for the program, it goes towards the programming. Plus you get an awesome yoked hat. You get an awesome yoked hat from me. So any other questions, guys? Who's got some questions for me? I'm going to stop sharing. Corey, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to have you. So stoked. I love meeting new people. I love it, love it, love it. I love growing together. What other questions do you guys have? You'll get some reminder texts and emails from us. And again, anybody who signs up today or reserves a seat today, you're going to get that one-on-one call with Zach. He's a total legend, man. I just love that guy. Any other questions? What's keeping you from making a decision? Be as brutally honest as you want in the chat, but I need to hear it. That's the only way we can address your questions, your fears, your hesitations. And maybe we're not the right fit. Or maybe this is the worst time ever. I don't know. You can't know that, can't address it unless you drop it in the chat. What else do you guys have? Any other questions? I don't want to cut anybody short here. Who has something? I feel like there's at least one person that's sitting here right now that has a burning question and they haven't typed it, or they typed it and they haven't hit enter. What you got? I'm going to give you 30 more seconds and then we will sign off. But anybody who's sitting on the fence and they're not sure and they want, think about financing or cash flow, sign up. We'll talk about it. We have options for you. Corey says send it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, my kids say send it or end it. I'm worried that I won't have time for the program based on my current business time requirements. We will help you find the time. One of the examples I used yesterday was a friend of mine who's got literally over $1 billion of real estate under management. I showed him at 13,000 doors. I think he's closer to probably 15,000 now. And he can find the time. And here's a guy he's got his hands in all kinds of projects. We will help you and show you how to make the time. I promise you. I promise you. There's always time. And even when we feel like we don't have time, it's like I always think about how I thought I was super busy when I didn't have kids. Then I had my first one, and I remember thinking, what the heck did I used to do all day? How the heck am I now juggling a kid on top of all the stuff that I used to do? And then I had two, and then I had three. And then when I had three, I thought, man, having two is easy. How the heck am I going to do three? And then I had four. And so there are absolutely ways to figure that out. Michael, we can help you with that. We can absolutely help you with that. So I don't want you guys to miss out on an opportunity to work together. I also don't want you guys to miss out on the opportunity to work with Zach. So I knew there was one question in there. Maybe there's another one. Is there anybody else that needs to hit send on their question and they can join Corey and all the other people that signed up? And we can all work together, grow together. This awesome piece of feedback that we had on the Yoked cohort this morning was one of the people chimed in and just said, hey, I just love hearing from everybody else and what they're working through. It helps me understand the other leadership styles so much better, helps me lead so much better. I mean, these folks were so fired up this morning, got me fired up on the stuff they're learning and the progress they're making. It's unbelievable. And there's times where I just got to pinch myself and think, man, I cannot believe that I get to do this and I get to be involved with all of these hard chargers and helping them level up and unlock this next level of leadership. What if Peter was able to help you find one thing to delegate or automate that could save multiple hours per week without costing you a dollar? Zach, what a great question, man. There you go. You got it. You sent it to everybody now. I love it. So good. Great question, Zach. We actually help with delegation. That was a big topic of conversation actually today with the cohort. We can help you unlock that time. I'm glad that you've been more specific there, Zach. Yep. What's the timeline for signing up? Last day to sign up, Irma, is midnight on Friday. So, and then that link won't even work anymore. So that's the timeline for signing up. The offer to have that call with Zach ends at midnight tonight, though. Waller or guys taking advantage. Wilfredo, I think we absolutely need to get on a call together. Like I said, you'll get a full refund if we don't see that this makes sense for you. But I don't want you to lose the opportunity. And I am the opposite of a high pressure salesperson. So we should get on a call and we can talk about competing in a market. I've got plenty of friends. It sounds like you are in construction. We've got a ton of clients in the construction space that are all over the board, from teams of 14 to 160 and beyond. And so we can absolutely talk to you about that. We've also got some connections for you, I'm sure, in that space. If you're busy and have no light at the end of the tunnel, that's why you need to work with Peter. Zach, he's telling the truth. We have a perfect business and all the time in the world. People work with him so that, yes, so true, Zach. So true. That's right. If we had it all figured out, we wouldn't be here, right? It's continuing to level up, continuing to find margin, continuing to step into your purpose, continuing to find space where you can move out of your business and working on it instead of in it. That's absolutely true. It's interesting because, as believers, some people think like, well, I got to get my life in order first. Let's get my life in order first, and then I can give it over to the Lord. And that's not how it works. We come to Him as we are, right? And then we get sanctified along the way. It's this opportunity to be sanctified from now to the end, right? And so you show up as you are, and then we work on it, warts and all, and continue to work through that. Absolutely. That is right, Zach. Corey, so we are automatically signed up with Zach. When we sign up, I need a team instead of going alone this time. Yes. So we, after midnight tonight, I will send all the signups over to Zach, and then Zach and his team will schedule some time with you. Absolutely. Who else? It's funny. We almost signed off. Now we got more questions coming in. Yeah. Yeah, Zach, he actually booked, man. So very, very cool. Who else has a question? Who's on the fence? Who's hesitating? Who's like, man, I don't know. I've got like this last thing that I'm just not sure about. So I'm so excited for you to talk to Zach, Corey. Got 8 minutes here, and then we will wrap unless we don't have any questions. Another 30 seconds. Remember that analogy I gave you guys yesterday about the finished carpenter who just feels like they don't have what it takes. They're just working with dull saws and bad tools, right? We are the sharper saws. We are the better tools that'll help you. Coaching you along on how to use them, when to use them, making sure you are using them. And then over time, you become world class. That's what coaching is all about, right? Some of the best athletes have a couple coaches. They have their primary coach and then they have a backup coach. They're practicing before and they're practicing after practice. Why? They're already awesome athletes because they want to be better. They know that there's more, and God calls us to more. He is constantly calling us to higher and higher levels, and not for our own glory, for His. So that just like Zach talked about, we can be that 5-talent servant. I typed it in the chat. The most terrifying thing to me is at the end of this life being called wicked and lazy. I don't want him to point behind me and be like, oh, see that hole right there? That's all the gold I gave you. Those are all the talents I gave you. Those are all the gifts I gave you. You buried them. That's absolutely not what I want to hear. I want to hear, well done, good and faithful. And that's why I'm obsessed with transformation and constantly trying to peel back the layers. Michelangelo being interviewed about the statue of the David, and they asked him how he did it. And he said, oh, it was easy. The David was always in there. I just had to chip away the marble that wasn't the David. That's what us leveling up means. See, in life, we are born as the David. And then we're constantly just glomming on grit and junk and scum and stuff that's not us. And it's up to us and through our community and through coaching to start picking some of that stuff off. We're like, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. So that we can find the David. So that we can find and live into our true calling, to live into our full potential of how God made us to be. So that we can hear, well done, good and faithful. See, we're here to take your mirror that's fogged up and defog it so that we can clearly see ourselves in it. Because like I said before, there are no imposters here. You are one of one. And so we got to pick off the stuff that's acting like other people so that we can live into the leaders we're supposed to be for ourselves, for our family, for our team, so that we can bear fruit and our fruit can bear fruit. Does that make sense, you guys? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, love it, Corey. Any other questions before we jet? 30 more seconds. I keep saying that. Wilfredo said I picked it up. I love it. I love it. Let's get you on a call, man. Let's talk about it more. I'd love to have that one-on-one with you and have you have that one-on-one with Zach. So look forward to meeting you, man. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you investing in yourselves. Appreciate you spending some time with Zach. Zoe said, how can I get more exposure for my artwork without spending a fortune? We're talking marketing, right? We're talking building teams. We're talking getting outside. I like to talk about starving artists. My wife's an artist, and there's a reason that that phrase exists. Is because we want to just do art, but we neglect the other parts of the business that are necessary in order to grow that. And we have to learn how to work on the things that are outside of our comfortable skill set. And the only way we can do that is by identifying them and then leading the people that need to do the thing that we're not strong in. But we can't just abdicate to them. We can't just grab a marketing team and be like, hey, display my artwork. I'm going to go back to doing art. It's not how that works, right? We have to be able to lead that team. And so, Zoe, it always comes back to leadership. It goes from a scarcity to an abundance mindset. And so, if it would be helpful to hop on a call and talk about that and whether what we're offering will fit into that and help you, I'm happy to do that. And again, there's no risk. It's full refund. So if you want to chat, grab a call. As soon as you check out on that page, you'll grab a time with me. It'll present you with the calendar. You can grab a time with me, and we can talk about it. Happy to do that. Anybody else? Anybody else have a question? Every time I go to log off, there's another one, and I love it. Who else has got one they want to hit send on? Got 2 minutes. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. It's been a pleasure. Everybody have a great afternoon. Look forward to meeting the folks that have booked a call. If you're on the fence, let's go. Let's get this done. Do not let the fear hold you back. See you guys.